Yo, what up, boys and girls? Hey, I hope that y'all are having a great Wednesday, great little hump day. We here, we vibing. Y'all know the vibes. Need a little vibe check. Yo, heat check. Yo, Thunder. Hey, they ain't playing today.
GM. It doesn't matter. We got the number 2 pick last night. We vibing. We ready to go. Bring us Chet. Bring us Paulo. Bring us Jabari. I don't care. Give me any of them. But it is a good day. It is a good day.
It's a good day. No, that's for sure.
Looks like you're vibing out over there.
Hey, we're chilling, man. It's cool, man. It's airdrop time. It's Moonbirds time. You know, I feel like I was made for this. I've been waiting a little bit. It's been a down couple weeks, but you know the vibes are back up, so we're chilling.
Yeah, you're looking like an NFT where everyone's saying you got some rare traits. You're one of those like 7 trait. You know, there's only 2% of those in the collection. You better collect the Yo Jeremy. He's even got the glass of water in the hand. Okay, man, here we go. How was your? I mean, not a lot. Well, really not a lot's happened in the NFT space. I feel like since our last stream on Monday. But hey, how you been doing since Monday?
We're chilling. We're vibing. You know, there's been not a whole lot of minting or anything like that. Volume's been kind of down still. Not compared to the week. Just overall low. But we've had like some announcements here and there. And especially with permissionless happening in what is it, Key West or something, Florida. Anyways, it's something over there in Florida. So a lot of companies kind of saved up some of their announcements for this week, and I think we'll talk about a couple.
And I mean, for VCon, I'm sure as well. Speaking of VCon, I see Steve in the chat. Yo, Steve, shout out. He's there on site, on location in Minnesota. Steve, my flight gets in at 5:15, so I'll see you tonight. We'll grab some dinner. And then we'll play some League as well. But let's go ahead and let's jump into the market update as we normally do. And it's been an interesting 24 hours. There's not a ton going on, but let's take a look. We've got, so just first glance at this, we've got the Miladies. You know, they've jumped up 56%. They're back over in ETH. I'm not really a fan of this project. It seems like I think they got a lot of traction yesterday because there was a ton of drama going on between the not okay bears and the okay bears. Like this Twitter space had like 2,000 people in it for like 12 hours. I feel like. And I think one of the Milady creators was on that Twitter space is basically trolling the not okay bears. I think they got some traction from that. So I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to get your project names out there, I guess. So hey, whatever works works. Are you involved with them? Do you have any of the Miladies? Ever looked at them? Ever interested in them?
Nah, I mean, no disrespect to my ladies or whatnot. I just saw like a lot of the meme crowd kind of get in, and it's not my vibe, so I just stayed out.
Yeah. There's a couple influencers I've seen that are in them, and I'm just like, nope, not my vibe. Not my vibe. We've also got some of the gainers. We've got Artifact, so the monoliths. So those are up 30%, which is kind of crazy. Like 30% is pretty normal on these charts, but usually it's like 0.2 to 0.25 or something like that, right? Or something like small. This is 30% at 7.2 ETH. This is a pretty big jump up for them, considering the floor price.
So they're probably a little bit under 6 before. I mean, yesterday a little bit under 6 or something.
Right.
Yeah, to see those back up at 7.23, and I don't think we talked about it on stream, but the one day that they actually revealed, and this was like, 2-3 weeks ago now, I think we were in the Discord chat, but I remember that being hilarious because, they were 6 to 8 ETH pre-reveal, maybe even touched 9, and then after they revealed and after we found out what they were, they just plummeted.
They got down to like 4 ETH.
But it lasted less than an hour, bro. Like they plummeted to 4 ETH, maybe even an offer for like 3.4, 3.8. And then not even an hour later, these things shoot back up to like 7, 8, 9 ETH.
yeah, they got up real quickly. Do you know? I mean, so you're the artifact guy out of both of us, right?
Yeah.
Is there a reason why these are up 30%? Is there some news that came out that affects these in particular, or is it just kind of a market doing market things?
A little bit of both, but there was kind of a leak, but it's not necessarily tied to Monolith. It was regarding NFT worlds and Artifact. So somebody had just, commented, and the Artifact team, they drop these here and there on their personal socials. It's like they reply, and then maybe it's a little bit of a leak, whatnot. So a guy tweeted out them and said, "When Artifact NFT world," and one of the team members said it already exists. It's just not public. And then people went wild over that.
Cool.
So, just a little collab, I guess, with NFT worlds, but I don't see how that connects to Monolith.
It's maybe like some kind of like speculation pump or something.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Awesome. Well, we've also got the Adidas into the metaverse. They've jumped up recently. Jenkins jumped up. We're going to talk about the Jenkins news, so we're going to hold off on that. But there's a reason why Jenkins jumped up. They got some more cash coming in, but we'll talk about that later. And then the last one I wanted to hit on was, RumbleCon. They're hanging in there. Yeah, remember those? Shout
out Steph.
Yeah, Steph was I think several other NBA players have him as well. I met a guy whenever I was at an OKC Thunder game. He had a RumbleCon, and I talked to him right before I took my half court shot and completely made it. We don't need to check the footage or anything. It definitely went in. So RumbleCons, they've been around for a while. Looks like they're back up to basically around an ETH, so that's good for the OG holders. GG's to them. And anything else before we move on? Anything stick out for you in these gainers in the gainer section for the last 24 hours?
Into the metaverse, I would think that this would be red as we get closer to the claim period being over. So it's a little bit surprising for me to see this up 20%. Going into the end of the claiming day or claiming period. So that's a little bit of a surprise.
Did you already claim yours?
Yeah, claimed mine a couple weeks ago.
Let's get that jumpsuit in December. Let's go.
December, it was pretty late shipping on the jumpsuit, and then also you couldn't separate the sizes. So maybe your legs are large and your top's a medium, or vice versa, like large, extra large. But you can only pick one size. I guess it makes sense for a jumpsuit, but it would have been nice to have them be separate.
Yeah.
Just because I know people like things to fit right.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
This just kind of reminds me, like, I feel like I have so much like outstanding stuff waiting to be shipped that I don't even know about, or like I keep forgetting about. Like packages is going to show up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I ordered that 3 months ago. But we still have the Bored Ape merch from whenever that happened back in March. We got the Bored Ape merch. We've got the super plastic toys for Bored Apes. We've got the Adidas now, which those are going to be coming like basically three separate shipments. I've got the I'm still waiting for this the Thierry Noir coin, Noir coin, which I sent the guy. I think it was like 1 ETH. Several of us did, and that was back in like January, and we're still waiting to get that physical shipped. So hey, that man's working hard right now making those physicals. Hopefully, yeah. At least I'm gonna keep telling myself that until it shows up. But it's gonna be like 3 years from now. I'm gonna keep saying like, man, that man's working hard.
ABS, just a small shout out, just because I remember these things pump into oblivion.
Yeah.
Like 1.5 ETH because of the Super Bowl rumors.
Yep, Super Bowl. Shout out to ABS. They're hanging in there. And let's look at the. Let's go and flip it over. Look at what are the losers for the last 24 hours, and we've got. Let's see. Just looking at names or projects that stick out to me here. So Karafuru, they're down 21%, but they also just had an airdrop to their holders, kind of like the beans. Like I think each one got 2, I believe. They're kind of increasing their collection size. So that would cause the main collection to go down, while the other collection now has a price attached to it. So those are down. I also remember the Karafurus. Those are being pumped by like Nate Rivers and the CyberKongs people pretty hard, like during the mint process, during the True Con. I see your comment, Nora Rugdus. I mean, I hope not. We'll find out. I know Dort bought as well. But yeah, the CyberKongs, like they were pumping the Karafurus hard. Now they moved on to now they're pumping the OK Bears. It's just kind of curious to see. You just see like the history of like the CyberKongs people. And Nate Rivers really pumping these projects to move from project to project. Let's see what else we got here. Any projects in this category stick out to you in the negatives?
Nah, not really. I mean the Murray kind of pump off the airdrop, off the land airdrop. Now we see that down, number 18 down there, I think. Yeah, 18 down to 0.65, which is when they've been chilling like anywhere from 0.65 to like 0.8 literally the last 2 to 3 months. So it's a good sign, but also a bad sign. It's like, hey, good that they're steady, but they can't really get over the hump. Let's see. No, other than that, not really anything outstanding.
Cool. Yeah. There's not really like a huge project on. I guess Project PXN is up there. It's a newer project. They're down 25%. But outside of that, there's nothing else really sticks out. There's not like a big blue chip that's down a ton. It's just kind of normal market doing normal market things. And we've got a question from Vaughn here. How many NFTs have you guys bought recently that you've wanted to collect and don't really care what happens to the price? I'll let you go first.
Well, see, the way my bank account works, I got a checkings and I got a savings, and all my money's in my savings, and I got to send it over to checkings. It's gonna take a few days, so I basically I haven't bought any NFTs.
You haven't bought any? When's the last NFT you bought? Was it back in like March?
I don't even know. I guess maybe early April.
Probably other deeds, late April.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the last, like the NFTs that I've bought recently that I don't care about the price, probably the Akutars. I lit it up on a decent bit of Akutars. I just like the artist. I like the story behind them and everything. Even they had that crazy FUD because they screwed up the contract. That's fine. I don't care about the price. I just think they're a vibe, and I like supporting that. So for me, Akutars. We're gonna ignore that word slip up there. Oh no. Akutars is probably my most recent one, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I bought some parallel cards last month, just to like cheap ones, just to finish out the set and whatnot. And then other ones that I've been looking at are like a project that I really like called NF Teams. I really think that they have a good squad there, and they're kind of building for the future. I think they'll be one of the big players in the crossover between professional sports and Web3. So yeah, just NF teams, parallel, just some of those mainstays for me where it's like I'm a big believer in them, but they're still I don't think the value has been recognized yet. Right. And I don't mind continuing to not even buy the dip. It's just like buy them while they're cheap.
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna move on to our news segments and everything, and we mentioned some airdrops in the kind of market update segment, and we've got some news for some airdrops for some projects. So the Moonbirds looks like they're gonna be having their first kind of airdrop for everybody. Yo, hoot hoot.
Hoot.
So the oddities, and says, they tweeted this out yesterday, is 10,000 fanciful treats make for unsavory pellet pals. I'm sure you saw this. You're a Moonbirds maxi. You're a Proof maxi. I got it on my wrist. Yeah.
I got it on my wrist.
I know you. I'm surprised you don't have a necklace with it yet, too. So whenever you saw this, what was your takeaway? Is it? It sounds like they're trying to be kind of like. They use interesting words here to maybe make some hint at things and be subtle about it. Did you look into it much? Do you have any speculation of what this could be?
I have no clue. Like, this is one of the ones where it's so hard for me to speculate because it's oddities. I don't know what the picture is. I don't know what treats means. Like, nobody has ever called anything treats in this space.
Yep.
Like, I'm just lost, and I don't. At first, I thought this was a joke, and then I looked into it when people started following it, and I got alerts like, hey, people are following this account. I was like, let me go check this out. Go to the hyperlink, it redirects to Moonbirds. It's like, I don't know. I'm lost. But in terms of execution, like, it's kind of cool, the mystery of it all, but I kind of don't like the way it's coming out, to be honest.
You don't like the way it's coming out?
I don't like the way it's being like announced and released and whatnot. It just makes me think too hard.
Yeah, you just want it black and white. Just tell me what's gonna happen. That's it.
Yeah, tell me when, where.
Yeah. If you had to guess, do you think this is like so it sounds like it's 10,000, so it's one per. Maybe this is a way to grow their collection because Moonbirds are already way too expensive for people to enter. So maybe it's another way for people to enter, which is kind of like now we're entering like a Russian doll, right? Because Proof was too expensive, now it was Moonbirds. Now Moonbirds is too expensive, and now it's these. And then hey, once these get too expensive, maybe it's something else, and it just keeps going and going and going. Well, do you think this is going to be a profile picture? Do you think it's going to be something else?
I think maybe something to augment your nest. Augment something in your picture of your birds. So to be honest, it might get flooded because it might be something like the Doodle spaceship, except just not as cool. Because we already know like Moonbirds in their nesting profile and OpenSea actually, it's a dynamic image because they always told you, or from the beginning, like even Proof members, technically if your Moonbirds are in the same wallet as a Proof membership, eventually down the line they're going to release a feature to where those Moonbirds, the background looks a little different than normal Moonbirds. So we know they're dynamic images, so maybe it's something related to that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. Like you said, I don't even want to waste time just speculating and guessing. I just want to. I saw this. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what that means. I'll wait till something else happens, until something else is announced, and let me know whenever that happens.
Well, to be honest, last year I didn't really sell into pumps too much because I was always like diamond handing, like selling through the announcements and the hype.
You about to tell us you're all out of Moonbirds?
Nah. I still have a few, but off of this announcement, I feel like I may want to list one and see what happens.
Hey, send it, secure that profit. But yeah, so curious to see what that is. So we've got one more team is announcing an airdrop, and I've got some feelings about this one. I don't know, but so the cool mans, it's literally like their name in their Twitter page right now. But they've basically had this, they're playing off this whole thing like this, this evil Speshie is taking over the Discord, and it's just, doing this, it's wrecking havoc or whatever. I'm not here for the theatrics, just like that. I'm like, all right, come on, just save the time and just, hey, this is what we're doing. But so they announced yesterday, the 48 hours, they're doing an airdrop. And so basically it's 24 hours today. So tomorrow we should be getting a Cool Man's airdrop. So, have you been following this, and what are your thoughts on Coolman's doing an airdrop for all of their holders? And it looks like it is going to be a 1-to-1. It's one airdrop per Speshie.
All I know is I just sold like 2 Species last week, so this is terrible timing for me.
You sold and then they pumped.
I kind of have a habit of doing that. Whenever I sell, there's always an announcement afterwards. But I still have a few Species, but it's pretty cool. I mean, actually, it's cool, but it's about time, right? Like Species, they've been kind of quiet. Like they had the merch release right off the bat. What other things have they had? Some of the events and like the premiere release, the video release, whatever in NYC. A couple IRL stuff, but in terms of additional like NFTs, digital assets, and whatnot, they've been pretty quiet, and for not a short amount of time. I mean, Coolmans are already what, more than 6 months old?
Yeah,
probably at least.
Oh yeah.
So
they're like I think like December, November, around that time frame.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a bit late, but hey, people still love the Species. They're definitely a vibe. They're cute. Danny's doing his thing. A lot of people support Danny and what he does.
Yeah. So
they're not dead. Don't ask manga about that, but they're not dead. They just never been able to really take off, right?
Yeah. I guess my feelings towards this right now is like, why are you doing an airdrop? Mm-hmm. Like, whenever I think of airdrops and additional collections, I think of it to be for like it's gonna, I'm trying not to sound like elitist or whatever, but I usually think of it towards like expensive, like more pricier collections, like Apes doing like some secondary collection, or that way it provides maybe a way for holders to sell at a cheaper price point, and also at the same time allows people to enter the ecosystem at a cheaper price point. So we see that with doodles happening with duplicators. We've seen it with Proof and Moonbirds is a good example, right? And we see all the time with or even Azuki, like Azuki's and the Beans. All these like top tier projects have these airdrops, these second collections, as a way for people to enter their collection, because their OG collection is now it's way out of reach. Pretty much anybody can afford a Speshie or an OG Speshie right now, right? Listen. They're at 0.6. That's not like that's not cheap to anyone's standards. But it's 0.6. And that's after this whole pump after the airdrop announcement. So I just don't know why they're doing like an airdrop, and what's the point of it. I guess the point of it's just to like appease people, right? Just to say that they're doing something, and just to say like, oh, well, we're doing this. We're airdropping a JPEG, so that there's utility for you right there. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I'm just curious to see what the actual airdrop is, and what if there is utility to it, or if it's just like a random like, hey, here's a Speshie's pet as a PFP, and there you go.
Yeah. I don't mind them doing an airdrop, but like you said, one of the problems that I see is that the floor honestly isn't too high at the moment. So just having an airdrop to dilute that, and then now instead of having a 0.6 asset, I have like a 0.45 and a 0.15.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just not deal with it at that point.
It's the whole like Robotos thing. Like they did the Robo Pets, which I think the Robo Pets are cool, but they got, but now if you got Robotos and a RoboPet, you got like a 0.04 asset and like a 0.5 asset, right?
Yeah. Would you rather have an ape or 40 Species?
Oh, I'd rather have.
Wait.
Give me the 40 Species.
It's gotta be a mutant, right?
The math doesn't even add up, but yeah, if it's a mutant, I'm taking the ape all day, easy.
Even the mutant, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the mutant. I'm taking anything.
And Farron says you don't speak for him. He says not everyone.
Yeah, that's why I walked it back. Like it's like 0.6 still is pricey, right? It still is like someone coming off the street, you tell them like, hey, this is over $1,000. Like that's still expensive. It's not peanuts. But I think, but there were a lot cheaper entry points to Coolman's like before. Like they got back down to like the 0.25, 0.3s recently. So there were definitely some more cheaper entry points for those. So I'm curious to see what this is going to be. We'll find this out tomorrow. So on stream on Friday, we'll be able to review this and go over the airdrop, what it is, and we'll have more information then. All right, so we're moving on. We've got this So this is the lens protocol. Okay, I need some dark mode. This is a little bit too bright for me, but you sent this over. Tell us about this lens protocol.
I mean,
And is this something we should be paying attention to?
I think we should be paying attention to it, but not like fully like diving in. And anyways, we're a little too late. It's supposed to be something that we signed up for before May 5th.
Yeah, I saw
Still
that.
gonna have a shot at it, but to be like an OG, it's like before May 5th.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a social network. It's like a social protocol for Web3. So even other applications, dApps, communities, whatever, they can kind of like tie into this protocol here, Lens protocol, and yeah, just kind of make this new wave of social media via Web3. So it's pretty cool. This is being built by Aave. I think it's going to be, I don't understand all of it, but they somehow said like this is going to be through Polygon. So it's built by Aave, going to be through Polygon, and it's, I don't know. I think it could be something pretty cool. Although I don't know how much conversion we're gonna get, like from people coming from like, let's say Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, all the other social media platforms on there, without this being like a full-fledged, like where you can share, you know, pictures, video, stupid quotes, whatnot. So I don't know how early it's gonna be. I don't know what they're gonna come out with, but I think something like this is, I don't want to use the word needed, but I think it's just inevitable. And I think it's kind of like taking that first step, because in each sector of Web 2, there's always going to be like experimentation in this Web 3 world. So that's why I don't mind this at all. I'm not going to like flood it. I'm not like singing its praises or whatnot. We don't even know what it looks like, but I think it's cool to see the experimentation. And so far, and I know this is just like a simple kind of website, but it looks pretty cool. It looks like well polished. Seems like they're trying to do the right thing. So just keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, and I think with the direction that we're going in this space in Web3 and NFTs and crypto and everything, like there's definitely space and opportunities for something like this to come out and really succeed and take over some aspects of it. Like I don't know if anything's ever going to really take over from Twitter and Facebook or Instagram, because they already have just such a huge grasp on everybody right now. It's what we all use. But there definitely is some like subsets, some sector of the other communities that will gravitate more to something like this.
Yeah. I mean, I could just see, you know, even you know, because this is a protocol, I could see an example being like, you hop onto Xbox Live or Steam, whatever, and your Web3 profile is kind of connected, and then you can see, oh, these are all the other Cool Man's holders that are online playing this game, right? It's like a little hub. It's like a social graph. So yeah, that'd be pretty neat, and that's just like a small, tiny example.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Bloomer.
Thanks for the follows, game.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right, so moving on, we've got some more news that came out yesterday. So Ledger is going to have a browser extension, and basically it's going to be an extension so you can connect your Ledger to it without having to. I think it's so you can basically an easier way to connect to websites to verify your assets in your Ledger, your basically your vault wallet, pretty much. You can verify them without having to actually connect to websites or sign transactions. From what I understand, I think that's the point of it. Is that right?
Man, I don't know.
Did I misunderstand it?
I don't know how the specifics are going to work. I know you're still going to have to connect, but I guess it's like how you connect or the process of connecting, making sure everything is kind of safeguarded. So instead of, you know, seeing like a random contract address, you know, maybe that's kind of like verified in some way, anti-phishing, anti-scams kind of like built in to the wallet. But yeah, I mean, this is, I'd say, relatively big, because so far the only way you're able to really connect, or most people connect with their ledger, is through MetaMask. Right. And then so now you kind of trust two parties, right? MetaMask and Ledger and the site, or three parties and the site that you're connected to. So this just cuts out one of those, and it just gives you a little bit more peace of mind, and knowing that it comes first party from Ledger as well. Could be pretty big. But hey, we don't know, maybe there could be issues on release.
Yeah, I definitely won't be the first to use it. I'll say that. I will be very slow in downloading and adopting this until there's like 100% certainty that it's it's safe, it's working, and it's not just like just complete trash. But I do like the idea of it because maybe that means I don't have to use a completely different browser than my other wallets. Because right now with Ledger, using it for MetaMask, like it doesn't work for the current browser I use. Like it's just not updated or something, so I have to use an old like a different browser completely that supports Ledger on MetaMask. So I'm basically it's not too convenient, but it's probably safer, honestly. So. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's something that maybe it's just one of those quality of life improvements, and I'm here for all of that. And we had some more. So actually, while we're speaking of Ledger, they also announced today that they now support ApeCoin. So if you have a Ledger, if you have a stack of ApeCoin and you want to keep it somewhere safe, you can send it to your Ledger, and it's safe, and it's good. So Ledger supports ApeCoin. So that was a good announcement. I'd like to see that. But also, speaking of different browsers and everything, we've got another announcement yesterday.
Yo,
we got a lot. There's a lot of just people coming out with these types of things now. We got Robinhood, the stock market app that that got pretty popular, and it got really popular, especially with the whole like the GME and GameStop stuff. Even though it was popular beforehand, but most retail traders probably use Robinhood, right? But looks like they're looking to build their own Web3 wallet, and it says that they're trying to capture the hype, pretty much, right? Capture the NFT and crypto hype. So they're trying to maybe compete with MetaMask, maybe compete with some of these other wallets, and to have their own wallet. What were your thoughts on this whenever this came out?
Overall, like I think it's a good move for them. Taking my bias out of it, I think it's a good move for them because they've obviously been able to convert a lot of people who were not involved in any type of investing, stocks, ETFs, whatever, and capture their attention and onboard them into the platform, and then get them being as active users. So if they can do the same for their Web3 wallet, not only could it be good for the space, but it's really good for them because I'd imagine that somehow they're gonna take the same approach to where they're getting like they're making their revenue through like sponsorship or ads or different type of promotions and marketing and stuff like that. So I think this is a smart move. I think you'll see like a lot of more people getting involved like that. And to be honest, kind of eventually, I don't know how it would work without being a headache, but you can even see like, let's say a Target Web3 wallet, right? You can see like almost every major brand and franchise having their own kind of wallet.
That sounds like that sounds like a headache if we come down that way.
Yeah, but I don't know how it'd be integrated, right? Like maybe you sign in with your normal MetaMask wallet, but then that's how you kind of like get into, like, you have to transfer bridge funds back and forth between like their own network. But yeah, interesting to see because Robinhood, I know they've had their ups and downs, but I think you got to give them props, kind of like what they've done in a good way and bad way.
I think there's a lot of bad there with Robinhood. they did a lot of shady stuff during some of those squeezes, like just completely turning off GME, so retail investors couldn't buy the stock, but other people could. So I think there's a lot of sketchy stuff with Robinhood. So because of that, like you said, hey, good for them. I'm glad they're reaching out. It's a good move for them. I'm not interested in it one bit. I'm not touching it. I'm not going for it. I'm gonna stick with MetaMask. I'll stick with whatever else I'm using. I'm not gonna be touching it at all.
Yeah, it's something that I wouldn't.
But good for them.
But I think it's like it can be kind of like a gateway drug for people to this space. Just kind of how like Top Shot was for some of us.
Yeah.
Right. We did it through sports, and then like they can kind of attract people to the space just through their normal kind of like investing. That persona of people that they already have in their app, they can kind of convert them.
Yeah, I mean, from that standpoint, yeah, it probably is good, like overall, just to like grow the space a little bit. But yeah, and hopefully people, once if it's just like complete garbage, they'll get that taste in their mouth, and then they'll kind of go in depth, go down the rabbit hole, and then go other routes, because I wouldn't really fully trust having my assets tied to Robinhood. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I wonder how long it's going to take them to develop. How long? I mean, you're the developer. How long does it take someone like to say, "Hey, we're building a Web3. We're building a wallet." Like, how long does that actually take to build?
I don't know what you consider a short or long time, but I'd say that you can get a pretty polished alpha or so within 6 to 8 months. Like, yeah, I mean, you can get something up and running within 2. But to have it like fully tested and polished and all the user, UI, UX and all that stuff. So I'd say 6 to 8.
Yeah, it looks like this is something they've probably been building. In this article, it says that they did have a first digital wallet in September, just for like a handful of beta users. So they probably have been working on it for a while, and this was kind of like, I guess this is probably to the point where like, okay, it's about time to make a public announcement.
Launch.
Yeah, a public launch. So they probably already have a little bit of a head start on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it come out, by like the end of the summer. All right. Any other final thoughts on Robinhood, on Ledger, anything we're talking about before we move on?
I mean, I just love seeing the experimentation, man. Like, from these brands who have already made it, along with all their good and bad press and stuff. Just that they're seeing the space and they say, hey, we want to be involved in that. Well, we don't know their motives, right? I mean, most of the motives are just going to be about money and eyes. But for them to realize that, or for them to think that, hey, there is enough of the pie left for us, is actually good news for the space.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is validating, because we've been here for over a year now, right? We'd be considered, like, it doesn't feel like we'd be considered early, but since we've been in NFTs for over a year, since last, January, February, we're basically considered probably like NFT OGs pretty much, even though they're here before then. But like, for the current state of the NFT market, we would be considered, OGs. Most people in the chat probably that same in that same category as well. So it's just kind of validating, because back then, no one really talked about it as much as they do now. Like, obviously now it's a huge buzzword. Everybody knows what they are. Everybody has an opinion on them. But back then, there was no idea, and it was just like this crazy adoption thing, and people laughed at it. We always got, I remember getting, like, not laughed at in person, but I remember people just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. That sounds cool. Hope you have fun with that. And it's like, okay. But, a lot of these big companies, big industries coming in with this, just gives that validation to, hey, this is here for the long haul. It's not going away. As much as some people want it to go away, it's not going away.
Yeah.
So, speaking of kind of like people joining NFTs, we got this weird kind of story that I think was, it's come out with the last 24 48 hours, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it, because it's this really interesting story that's developed in NFTs. And so we know that there's a sector of like these artists on Twitter. We see these, it's pretty popular in like the furry community on Twitter, a lot of the gamers on Twitter, but then there's a lot of just like artists that do not derivatives of NFTs, but they just do like commissions and stuff, and they absolutely hate NFTs, like absolutely hate them. And we saw one popular artist from this community made a very controversial post, so let's take a look at that. So this is JMW327, 150,000 followers on Twitter, not into NFTs, right?
Is that wait? You wanna?
There we go. Sorry, I thought I was already sharing it. So this is JMW327, has decent Twitter following, and this is someone that was an artist that just did commissions for different communities on Twitter. And I was looking through their tweets, and they pay, like, this is one of the commissions they do. And what I found out from what they charge was like $200, like, to do like commissions like this. So not like a crazy amount, and I think that was even like more expensive than other things. But this person made a tweet yesterday. Let me see. Yeah, this person made a tweet, said, hey, you know what, probably gonna try NFT don't understand them or why they're controversial, but can't keep making less than 10K a year. And so if there's a chance to make more and be able to afford healthcare and stuff, sorry if it offends you. Please do it, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Basically, like apologizing for trying out NFTs because they know how controversial they are, and they got so much backlash, from people in their community. But what was cool to see, they released their first piece on Foundation, and so they said they make about 10,000 a year. Let's take a look at the current bid, and I think it's about to come to an end. Oh, it sold today for 21 ETH, which I know ETH price is down, but that's still, I mean, that's 40,000. That's more than $40,000, right? And that's more than 4x this person makes in 1 year, and they just made that off of one NFT. Yeah, pretty crazy. Looking at some of like the activity, we saw, F Render was one of the big ones that he kind of jumped in early on and started upping the price, and then a lot of people jumped in once they found kind of the story and they found this background of the person they kind of liked. Hey, props to this person for standing up to all the hate that NFTs receive in these subsets of communities, and they just kind of said, you know what, I can't keep making what I'm making, I need to try something else, and they did, and it worked out for them. I'm pretty sure it's I just think it's a really cool story, and yeah.
I think that is a pretty cool story, but also, I don't know what you got to be doing to make 10K a year. Like
you gotta be selling art on Twitter for $50 because no one wants to pay them. No one wants to pay you. It's like that's what it is.
Go get a good art job.
I mean, it's just like these people hate NFTs, but it sounds like they also hate money because they charge. Like you look at these prices I've seen prices that they charge for like commissions, and it's like you can get like I could probably go get a full-on commission of my ape, like 3D full body, for like $25, and it's gonna take someone like a full day to get it done. I'm like, God, man, you're just wasting your time. Like this person's a good artist. Like it looks good.
Can we zoom up on the piece? I think it's pretty dope. Fozzie Bear got a big dub here.
Yeah.
Honestly, thought this was just like a screenshot, like a snippet of a game, but this got to be kind of like Chimpers type art, right?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, I don't even know what you would call this. Perspective pixel. I don't know. But yeah, this is kind of fire.
The title of the piece is Corner. I think this person has like this whole like town and character built out and everything, and they just have like little pieces of it. So it sounds like maybe they're gonna. I mean, I would imagine they're gonna do more pieces, right? If it's sold, their first piece sold for 20 ETH, you bet they got that taste in their mouth now, and they're gonna want to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they even they turned off the I don't even notice on this tweet right here, they turned the comments off because of
people are so toxic.
Yeah, because of the toxicity that they knew it was going to happen, and you can kind of see. So Kobe, one of the big crypto people that's on Twitter, he tweeted about the story, but I don't care about the tweet of the story. But he had some snippets of the quote tweets because people couldn't reply to it, but people in his community could quote tweet it, and so some of these are funny. You go in to be poor with no followers and an ugly monkey picture. And this person says, "Love the complete lack of research and the fact they don't see the show for crypto right now. LOL." Some of these are just so funny. Like the market's crashing, you'll work and you'll get nothing. You'll be worked to nothing by NFT bros. It's just like it's so funny, like how much they hate NFTs that they can't open their eyes. And this person had the courage to just you know what, I'm not okay with this right now, and hey, we're gonna try it out. And they know how toxic the community is against NFTs. And I wonder what these people are now saying after that person made $40,000 in a day. Probably confirmed scam. See, you can't do that. Actually, that's not real money. Try cashing that out. You can't convert that to USD right now. It's like people they think they actually believe this. So yeah, I just thought it was good to highlight, and I'm curious to see more art come out of this person and see how they kind of approach it as someone new to the NFT space.
For sure, I love the whole story and everything like that. I do have one question though. Like, do you think the same artist or similar artists would try this if they're making, I don't know, 40 to 60,000 a year? Like, would they take the risk?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of thinking
I
in
would
my
assume
head,
not.
like
Yeah.
I love the story and everything like that, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like a no-brainer, or not no-brainer, but it's like, what do you have to lose? Like, you're
Yeah.
only making 10K.
Yeah.
You're gonna make 8K. It's like you don't have a lot to lose. So I think this made sense for the person. So GG's. And
Yeah.
then yeah, I mean, dope art though.
I mean, I think you have a good point. Like, if someone's making 40 to 60K, if all their bills are paid and they're not stressing about money, like people like the security and they don't want to risk anything. So yeah, if someone's making that much, then I don't think they make this risk to with the chance of pissing off your community base that's probably paying you that salary right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the people in these communities, they're not paying people enough to make that much. Like they say they love the art, but they're not paying artists what artists probably should be getting paid, which is kind of it's so ironic when you break it down and actually look into it.
I don't care about your crypto, boy.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so we've got some big news. We hinted at it. We hinted at it in the market update with Jenkins. We saw the price jump for Jenkins, and hey, we may be asking, what happened to Jenkins? Did you see the news? Did you see what happened with Jenkins today? You
yeah, the seed round, a little seed round of like 20.
Little
no, 12.
seed, yeah, just a little 12 million seed round.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, so Jenkins looks like they're getting some funding. They got $12 million. They got some big names on here. I don't know if you looked at the names, but you got people like Paul George,
A16.
Odell Beckham, A16. A16 is basically in everything now because they just throw
Yeah.
money at the wall and you'll see what sticks. Yeah, I mean they Roham's in here, so a little TS Dapper Pump right there.
I've talked to Penny Jar. I'm familiar with them. I don't think they're super big, but Penny Jar
Sure.
is Stephen Curry's investment fund.
Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on? So this is also kind of, I guess, I guess you could say controversial. Like, there's a lot of people in our community in Web3 and NFTs that they don't like this. They don't like projects building a base and then going out and then getting basically VC money, VC funding, and funding from outside. What are your general thoughts on that? Do you think it's good, or do you think it's a net negative for the projects?
Man, short term, I think it's great, but long term, it's yet to be seen. Obviously, not just because we can't look into the future, but because of the kind of like legal structure that this now kind of puts into place, and the lack of regulations we have in this space. So right now, we can't be like investors in a project. Like, we can't buy an NFT and then get what do you call it, like payouts and stuff from it. Technically, we can get like airdrops or claims, and we can go and sell those, but we can't get like money back from that project. So this is kind of like a little bit of a, not even like a workaround. It's kind of like a dual party type thing. So you got your kind of consumers, supporters, same kind of model. It's like a Web2, Web3 hybrid, truly, like what this is. And then while you still have your investors, where you're producing like this, or you're raising this capital, having this cash flow, whatnot, to hopefully build better things. And then as you're building better things, you're hoping that the value of the NFTs you've already created or that are to be created add value back to your holders. So in the short term, it's great. I think it makes sense. Long term, this is something that you can't really go back on. I mean, unless maybe you buy out the rest of your company. Let's say you sold 40%, so it's like 60-40 between all these guys, and then you have to go back and buy the other 40, and then kind of retry. I don't know.
Yeah, I like this one because it's you're not just raising money. I mean, obviously that's a huge plus of it, right? You're getting a big chunk of change that you can now use to spend and build your project with. But what you're also getting, especially this one, you're getting all these connections, right? And they have a ton of athletes in here. And they also have a lot of people in the entertainment business, right? You got Will Smith's Dreamers VC. You've got Lionel Richie. You got these big names in the entertainment industry, which ultimately Jenkins is trying to enter that type of industry, right? They're trying to be an entertainer, right? They're telling a story in a unique way, and I think the connections that they get from this, now that people are invested, I think that opens up a lot more doors than it did without having that at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm excited for Jenkins. Obviously, we knew that I don't know too much about the main guy who started it all, but the team that he kind of put around him is definitely pretty strong. It seems like they know what they're doing. It's not like they're well, the only thing that I didn't like that they were doing there for a while was tweeting out the floor price like 12 times a day, bro.
Yeah.
Every hour, I swear.
Anytime someone talks about their floor price, it's just kind of a turn off for me. It's like, okay, stop it.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, I've been vibing with Jenkins for a while. Still remember the day all these minted and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, you look at the execution of what they've been able to do so far. It's a slow and steady pace, or it's not as slow as Cool Man's. It's kind of like a steady pace. They haven't been popping off doing all these crazy airdrops just like Bored Apes and whatnot. Yeah, I just think it's steady and strong, and the roadmap that they released with what is the name of their world called? It starts with the A. Is
it this one? Go Azurbala?
Yeah, Azurbala.
Azurbala.
Yeah. So the roadmap with the details that they came out with, that like it all looks pretty cool, pretty strong. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we both hold Jenkins, keys and tickets and stuff. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the future of this and seeing our apes license and some of these contents coming out. Right? I know, Trucon's in the chat. This man's got a yacht still. I think he still got a yacht. You didn't sell it, right?
Nah, he still got the yacht.
That man doesn't sell anything. No. Yeah, he's got a yacht. He's got a yacht in real life, and he's got a yacht from Jenkins Valet. So, yeah, this man's ape's gonna be like a center of one of the stories or something, right? It's gonna be crazy.
A yacht on his yacht. But no, for real, like if you're not familiar with Jenkins, by the way, if anybody in the chat, it's just kind of like a new age, like Web3 take onto branding licensing of other projects, right? So one is their first party Jenkins kind of branding with the apes and whatnot. So they're going kind of down one path that way. Their second path is also creating what would you say, like marketing, or not even marketing, it's like digital dang, what can I say? I mean, it's like movies, films, books, whatnot, comics, anything like for these other projects. If they license that to Jenkins, they'll build that for them, and then while you kind of get a little bit, it's a weird structure. I guess they figured it out legally, but we do kind of get, or the DAO gets a percentage of any revenue from those licensing deals made.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely it's one of the more unique projects out there that we've seen. And definitely one of the best use cases of using. People always laugh about IP and NFTs, and we make fun of it too sometimes. We're like, you're not going to use your IP on your NFTs. I mean, and this is one of the good examples of someone using IP for NFTs in a very, very positive way. And it's just good to follow. I mean, GG's to Jenkins team for securing that seed round and getting those connections and getting that fundraising. And yeah, now they can, like he says at the bottom, time to build. Now I'm really looking forward to see what they can build now from after raising this money, after getting these connections. And yeah, this opens up so many more doors for them.
Yeah, I personally would prefer, like, if like people like OBJ. No hate on OBJ. I just hate that it's like a single person like that.
Yeah,
like it just looks so much better when it's like group, a team of venture capitalists and whatnot. But I just, maybe it's like salty, whatnot. I have no problem with OBJ. It's just when I look at this and I see single names like that.
Tell me you're a Cowboys fan without telling me you're a Cowboys fan. I mean, come on, dude.
Nah, I mean, I'm happy for him, but it's just like
you still got flashbacks from the catch.
Right. No, but it's something about it. Like Penny Jar, like that's Steph Curry. But it looks so much better when it's Penny Jar Capital.
Yeah, I think it's just like flashier to say like someone's name. Like, oh, like no one looks at this and says, oh, Penny Jar. They look at this and say, wait, they got OBJ. Okay, it's just like it's definitely flashier. And yeah, cool. Any final thoughts on Jenkins?
I don't know if that's a new logo for Tally, but I like it. Anyways, nah.
Cool. All right, so we're going to talk about some, I don't know, I guess it's an issue right now, but we're, obviously we're kind of in Would you say that we're in a bear market right now?
Don't say it.
We're not talking about OK Bears. This is not an OK Bear bit. Anytime I say bear, it's not just for OK Bears, okay? But would you consider us in a bear market?
I mean, I guess I'd have to say yeah. I mean, I'm not sweating, but
yeah. Like prices are a little bit down across the board. We're not seeing the volume, but yeah, the main thing is we're not seeing the volume. That's kind of wanted to talk about and get our thoughts for that. So if we look at, let me pull up. So let's just look at Crypto Slam. So the last 24 hours, do you remember looking at this and seeing like several projects, they'd be like tens of millions of dollars in volume in 24 hours, and now there's only a few that are over 1 million. Like right now, just what we're seeing in NFTs, we haven't seen in a long time, and that's just the volume is so low. And if we look at Dune Analytics, it shows right here. If you look month by month, let's see. Yeah, you can look. So let's see.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, NFTs sold. Like this is
May.
This is May right now. This is where we're at, and this was, this was January. January was a huge month. That's like the whole run on the mutants. Like the whole it was just such a crazy month. And even like February was pretty big, and we're just starting to see just whoop, it just drops down.
It's on track to be like the lowest of 2022.
Yeah, we're definitely on track for the lowest volume, the lowest amount of sales, lowest amount of anything for 2022, and we haven't seen that in a while. Especially, we have a lot of new investors, a lot of new people to NFTs. Maybe they joined in January whenever everything was going crazy, and they got the taste of the bull market, right? And now we're seeing the first time this year where we're seeing like the volume is just it's just dipping. Like look, I mean you just see kind of like this daily volume. It's just going down. Obviously this is for today, so you can't really count that yet. But yeah, I mean the volume's low. Do you think this is? I mean, is it? I guess how big of an issue is it? Right. ETH is pretty stable now, so at least that's good for now. It's not like tanking anymore. Like for a few weeks ago, it was just dropped, and that was the scary part. But now ETH is a little bit more stable, and now we're seeing low volume. And what are your kind of general thoughts on a low volume market right now?
Well, with ETH being down and stuff, it's kind of hard to wait. Oh shoot.
Oh no!
I didn't pay my light bill.
I'm not gonna lie. It looks like you have. It looks like you're doing like one of those like anonymous videos. I think you need a voice changer.
Like I can't afford my light bill, so that's how bad we're down bad right now. I also don't know the last time I paid man.
Okay, he's gone. There he is. There he has it. We're not gonna know what Jeremy's gonna want to say about this.
No,
welcome back.
But for real, my wife is kind of worried about it. Like she's like she goes on the Twitter, or she goes on the webs
on the Twitter.
And she reads about Ethereum and crypto and stuff, and how it's not coming back, blah 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 blah. And I'm just chilling. Like I don't read any of that stuff because I know even back before when NFTs were even a thing, like when I would read about Ethereum, there's always like 2 articles back to back, like when you look up on Google, why Ethereum is the next big thing, and also why Ethereum will never make it, right? Like why Ethereum is already dead. So there's always there's going to be news and articles to make you feel one way or the other. It's very divisive, and you get the best perspective when you're in it. So not only are we in crypto, but we're also in NFTs, and we've been through seasons similar to this before. I can't say exactly like this before, but pretty similar. And there's always a bounce back. Like there's always a shakeout, there's always a bounce back. And then when we zoom out, like just with the charts that you're showing right there, we're on track to be the lowest month in 2022 by volume. But even that lowest month in 2022 is pretty darn near the highs of 2021. So I think that still speaks volumes.
Yeah. I mean, look at this is July of 2021. Look at that jump from July to August. Whew. Man, that is crazy. It's so crazy looking back at that and like how it was, because we've been here since before the. I mean, yeah, we were here before this chart even started keeping data, right? We were here before all that, and This is the time frame that you could basically buy anything and it's going to go up in price, but we're kind of past that. But
so just zooming out, keeping that perspective that hey, even our worst 2022 is matching kind of the best from 2021, and we knew we were literally like not even just us two, people were like other people were saying like not every project can make it. Like there's not enough money to be spread around like that. So you're gonna see projects not even make it 3 to 4 months, and they're gonna be absolutely died.
They're going to be died, and that's a good point. That's one thing I wanted to bring up is like even though we're seeing such low volume right now, right? People are holding on to their ETH, they're holding on to their stable coins, whatever they're holding on to. They're staying liquid. And if we look at, I'm gonna go back to flips and let's look at a different section. Or I'm gonna look at a different sorting feature. I also want to look at the top projects. Let's look at the sort by floors, the top floors. Like the 24-hour change in all these top projects. Like some of them are even gaining. Like and this has been a thing. Like the prices for these top projects, these quote maybe you would call them blue chips right now, right? And we still debate about the whole blue chip thing, but let's just look at the top, the top 15 projects. They're holding up. They're holding up really well. And if I look at the last 7 days, even the last week, like everything is still, it's green. Like like the top projects they're hanging in there, but if you go lower down, you see a lot more variance. It looks more like a Christmas tree. You got a lot more red and green there, but the top, hey, the top's looking good, and I think that's healthy. Even though we see these low volumes, we're not seeing seeing these floors drop through the bottom. They're not just. People aren't rushing to undercut. Looks like we're getting into the spot where we have these projects being held by more, I guess, more diverse collectors, more broad, spectrum of collectors, where they're okay with just, hey, I'm not in this for the flip. I'm in this for whatever this token, whatever this NFT offers me, and they're okay holding it through these dips and everything, and they're not kind of freaking out because we're not seeing people undercut the floor, which is that's nice. We like seeing that. So I think that's a good sign. So, and that's why all like last few months, even the end of 2021, I was like really preaching to people like you need like really diversify across these top projects. Like these are the ones you want to be holding. Like and we keep saying all the time too. Like if you mint something, you probably should sell it within the next like 24 to 48 hours before it dips, because new projects right now are just not. They're just not gonna make it unless you're a Moonbirds with. I think that was like the most recent new project, which it wasn't even new because it was from Proof, which was already successful in the past. So these brand new projects, like if you're buying it for the flip, that's great, but I would not expect a new project to mint out and be into this category right away.
I mean, there's the only one that stood out lately like that is probably PXN. Like literally the only one out of 50 or so.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if I said GM to Max, so your GM Max. Appreciate you stopping by, baby.
GM Max. Cool. Any final thoughts? So I mean, I just wanted to bring up the volume thing because it's easy to look at that and be discouraged, but also I think it's kind of a healthy bear market, right? Like we're not seeing prices. No, things aren't going to zero. Some things are, but the top stuff's not. So.
Volume.
Yeah.
Look, I think people are waiting to see kind of like what projects kind of end up being have a positive outlook, or just completely just let them die. It's time to let them die. Like I think the money is there. It's just waiting on the sidelines. The Ethereum price, I don't know. I don't really have too much knowledge on that, to be honest. Like why Ethereum is under 2K. But in terms of NFTs, I think there's plenty of ETH, liquid ETH just kind of sitting on the sidelines. Like people already in the space, we're like you and I, we're literally just kind of waiting things out, waiting to get a vibe check on different projects and the mood of the whole space before diving right in, because there's gonna be a time like we're super active again. It's just not right now.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you next. Is kind of like this. I was going to present you with a hypothetical scenario. Let's say you spent a lot of the last, like a lot of the first quarter liquidating a lot of projects, right? Let's say you stacked ETH. Now you're up to 200, 300 ETH just liquid sitting there, and you don't need to cash it out to pay for anything in real life. It's just kind of sitting there and you're just holding it. Are you still, like, if you're in that situation, are you still right now, would you be still holding it, or is this an opportunity for you to maybe look at making some moves and accumulating some of these top projects?
Yeah, for some of the projects, and I'm not even gonna say top projects, but for some of the projects that I have conviction about, I'm absolutely trying to like snipe in a way. But my thing even going forward is I don't really know how rarities are gonna play out going forward, like in these types of collections and PFPs and metaverses and whatnot. Like I don't know how rarities are gonna do it. Like unless they're truly powered, something with the Moonbirds, their powered traits, something with other deeds. Those things they actually have utility within the game, within the master plan. But when it's just random vanity type rarity traits, like that's not something that I'm necessarily looking at, unless it's just a hell of a deal where I know, hey, that's like 60% below the floor of that trait.
Right.
But I'm gonna go for more like numbers in the projects that I believe in if I have that liquid ETH right now. Versus just staying out totally or looking for the next new project. Like I'd rather just stack up on the projects that I believe in.
All right, Trukon, you heard that. Go and spend that 300 ETH you got stashed away.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and send it. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to our next topic, and we've got another announcement from the Apes came out. So this came out on Monday night after our stream, and we've got more details for Ape Fest.
Yes, sir.
You're going, I'm going, and hey, they basically said, hey, it's official. Here's the dates. We already knew the dates, but we didn't know if it was like, last November for Ape Fest, it was like a Sunday, a Wednesday, and a Friday or something like that. Like it was, or really just like Sunday and Wednesday were the big days. So we didn't know what it was going to be like this year, but we got some details now. It's 4 days. It's June 20th through the 23rd, 5 to 10 every single day. So that's 4 straight days of 5 hours a day. So basically 20 hours of Ape Fest going on, right? And and they're taking over Pier 17 in NYC, which I'm not sure if you looked up pictures of Pier 17, but
I own it.
Sheesh! Look at that. This looks like it's gonna be a good time. So this is the venue they've got rented out for basically a full week. This is like their rooftop. It's right on the pier. It's obviously it's Pier 17, but it's got like a nice little rooftop venue. It's not even like people say like keep calling it like a rooftop bar. Like this is a full on concert venue, right? It's on a rooftop. So it looks like they've got a lot up their sleeves, a lot planned to be able to rent out a venue this big for that long of a time. And I'm hyped. I am ready. I think a lot of us already changed our hotel plans from close to Times Square to close to Ape Fest, just knowing like, we're gonna be spending most of our time here. Do you have any thoughts about this announcement? This is all there was announced. There's still no details of there's no details of like who's playing, what's what are the bigger days, what's and whatnot. This is all we've seen so far.
Appreciate Trukon.
Thanks, Trukon.
Thank you for the ride, homie. What can you say? What can you say other than it looks incredibly dope? They're gonna kill it. Like the vibes are gonna be crazy. Like Bored Ape art everywhere, mutants, dogs, anything. Maybe some other deeds, teasers, trailers, leaks. Crazy good music. We've seen the artists that they brought in on some of their events before. The merch, just like last year, there's gonna be probably limited unique merch that you can only get there. I'm gonna be doing a live review. You already know I got it. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, like you said, it's I think it's incredibly dope. I'm definitely gonna prioritize this over the rest of NFT NYC. But I think that's probably a con, right? Like a major con for people is that this takes away from them being able to interact with everything else that's going on in NFT NYC. It kind of like overshadows. But you can't, or you can, like have the best of both worlds, but it forces you to choose. right?
Yeah, because I know the Moonbirds party is on one of these days, so we're gonna have to kind of pick like, okay, do we stay at 8 Fest or do we leave early and go to the Moonbirds party starting at, I'm sure, like 7 or 8 p.m. or whatever they normally start off.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they did this for a reason. If they ended at 10 p.m. so that there's not, I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of now late night parties for other projects because they don't want to. Listen, let me tell you, no project wants to compete with Ape Fest, right? Because it's going to be crickets at your party if you start at 5 p.m. on one of these days. So I think we're going to see a lot more late night parties. So this is the pre-party for every day. You're starting off with Ape Fest.
Yeah, this is literally big bro, and that's what I'm saying. Like when they're there, like everybody's gonna wanna be doing whatever they're doing. So this kind of just overshadows NFT NYC in a way, and I'm excited for it because I am an ape holder, but at the same time I'm kind of disappointed because I know the majority of people don't have a mutant or a Bored Ape, so a lot of their stuff in the event kind of gets overshadowed, and I hope that they can just still keep a positive outlook, positive vibe, like we're all gonna make it, whatnot, wag me. But still, that's why I would like to just see Ape Fest become its own separate thing. Like next year, just don't do it at NFT NYC. That's fine. Like do your own separate thing.
Yeah, that's what I've always wondered. Like I don't know why they feel the need to coincide it with NFT NYC because no one is going to New York for NFT NYC. They're going because of Ape Fest if you're an ape holder. And like I'm pretty sure like if they just picked a random place, because also it holds you to New York and not everyone wants to go to New York. Right? Like, hey, maybe we should have Ape Fest in
Kansas.
Hey, let's go, brother. Kansas City. Let's go. Ape Fest Kansas City 2023. You heard it here first. I mean, hey, somewhere in California, somewhere in Texas and Florida, maybe the Bahamas, like
Brazil.
some destination thing. Like right now they're just kind of like tied to in New York, and I think they just kind of need to expand that because at the end of the day, if you have Ape Fest and wherever you're at, you're gonna have other projects follow that, and they have their own parties there as well, right? It's just gonna happen.
Yo, Manga.
Mongo, if that sub, appreciate that, Manga.
Yo, Manga. What's up with you, my boy? Thank you for the 3 months resub.
They did have, so if you do have an ape or a mutant and you plan on going, they have a survey on their Discord right now, so go on there, fill that out. I'm just gonna go. I'm looking through at the options right now, the choices and the results. So right now, this is verified ape and mutant holders on their Discord. 1,807 said that they are going to Ape Fest. Actually, no, I missed the options. So. Yeah, like 2,000, like 2,100 say they're going to Ape Fest. And out of those 2,100, 1,700 say they're going to bring a +1. So, I mean, whew. So that's already that's already quite a lot. And they did raise the capacity because last November, the capacity for Ape Fest was 1,000 people. It is not a lot. So this year, I think it is, I don't know the exact number, but it's around like 3,500, 3,600, something around there. So it's going to be a lot bigger venue, a lot bigger capacity, so we can get some more people in there, which is good to see. Hopefully we don't have to wait in the line all day Sunday to get our wristband. And then, other than that, we'll be vibing.
Start taking your vitamins. Get your immune system healthy and ready. Touch some grass, go outside, get that body primed and ready. Because we don't want to be sick during NFT NYC or afterwards. I mean, we're pretty much going to be sick afterwards.
You'll be sick afterwards,
but we don't want to be sick during it, so.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is all we've had to talk about. Jeremy, you got any final news, notes, any shout-outs?
Just be on the lookout for the Cool Man's Airdrop, see if there's any, play there in terms of, sniping or whatnot. Any type of utility or leaks or anything like that. Same thing with the Moonbirds airdrop. We have no idea what that's going to be. I have no idea what that's going to be.
Yeah.
Or regardless, we do know it's going to be a lot cheaper than Moonbirds, right? So if you miss Moonbirds, if you want to be into the ecosystem, maybe there's some type of way to do it through whatever that airdrop is, kind of like the beans are to Azuki before Azuki's crashed. Other than that, I wasn't really looking at too too much. I don't. Hold on. Let me just check my email real quick because I feel like there was something. Like I got an email and I was like, oh, I might need to mint that. But it looks like I might have to do some digging. So yeah, I'll mention it like on Twitter or the Discord.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that is all we had. We will be back here again Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. It's me and Jeremy's time. And yeah, until then, everyone, just like Jeremy said, touch some grass. Take those vitamins. Hit up the gym. Send us those gym pics in those mirrors with you flexing. Go ahead and send those out our way. And yeah. But that's all we have. We will talk to everybody on Friday. Until then, BYOA. Everybody, be your own alpha.
Appreciate y'all coming out. Love y'all.
Peace.
Thanks for the resub. Thanks for everybody coming out. Yo, be your own alpha. Peace.